Lema, I think so much has been said, and nomasbuga futhi naku social media njengamanje, and abanye bababukeli in fact also want to know with the many things that they've said, you've also been called a flip-flopper of note. I guess izwe kuwena, because I would also like to know what happened with the relationship with the former president uJacob Zuma, ngoba siyazi ukuthi nisenaba ne-Tea Party at some point where you guys tried to make amends. Kwenzakalani lapho?
Well, I went to see President Zuma because he said he was not going to go to the Zondo Commission. And there were talks that he is going to be arrested and all of that. So the aim was to persuade him out of that kind of an attitude. And we're not in speaking terms. We had not seen each other in a long time. I think I was seeing him for the first time since he expelled me. But I had an appreciation that if he doesn't go and they arrest him, there's going to be a problem in this country. And therefore, we as leadership, we have a responsibility to make sure that we avoid any potential crisis. And had President Zuma listened to me and went there and not get arrested, would have avoided the July unrest. So as a leader with a giraffe view, I knew July arrest is going to happen and can only be avoided if President Zuma goes there. We never had a discussion, me and President Zuma, about love back or anything of that sort. On the table was matters of national interest. So that doesn't make me a flip-flopper. It makes me a visionary leader who saw things that were still to happen before they happened. And they happened exactly as I want.
So how would you have suggested that particular matter be dealt with? How would you have ideally suggested? Because it was upholding the law that happened there.
No, President Zuma was supposed to have just gone there and speak his truth. And what Zondo says, it doesn't matter. And that's we could have avoided that situation. But equally, the Constitutional Court to take a man without a trial to jail is unheard of. It's actually unacceptable under democratic constitution. Every person, it doesn't matter how crazy they may be, they have to be listened to. And therefore, to just say guilt and straight to jail without listening to him, and then taking an 8-year plus to jail. We have no such facility in South Africa. Ours are the correctional facilities where we correct you and reintegrate you back into society. So the arrest of an 8-year-old plus on some useless charges is actually a wasteful expenditure. It's not worth it. Look at how much it costed.
Was it useless charges, though? Huh? Was it useless charges?
Contempt. How do you go to jail for such a long time for contempt of commission?
That's not upholding the law. For not upholding the law.
No, but you can't take me to jail without listening to me. Wait until it happens to you. Don't say it because it's someone else. You must first internalize it yourself. That you wake up one morning, one court, the last arbiter, says straight to jail. That is the law monopoly. Straight to jail. No return.
All right.
No, it's not like that.
Let me also get in my audience for a bite at the cherry.
Sure.
Ngikubingelele mina kethu nkosami uyathi masibheka ukuthi inkinga yaqalaphi yaqala eNcowe naseSwandlana masikhumbule then ngaboma 1970 kusasenemkhondo wesizwe siyayibheka inkinga encane lapho naboma PAC and then from 2012 August till now masibheka seyakhona uNtate Malema if bekangekho angazi ukuthi ngabe South Africa kuphi. And then I do have a question for you Ntate Malema. What aspect will you like to change in our country about politics?
All right. Ngibambele nakhona lapha ngize ngapha futhi ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi khona umunye ufuna ukukhuluma. Sawubona.
Sawubona njani? Igama nguTimothy. Welcome everyone. Imbuzo nginayo for wena Baba Malema is where do you get the strength from? You know, we see that from old times you still have that energy, that boldness. And I wanted to ask, are you a Christian? Because the way okhuluma ngakhona ukhuluma ngezinto zika Moses eBhayibhelini. Ukuthi Moses wakhipha abantu but yena akangenanga kuland of milk and honey kwakena oJoshua which is the youth that you are leading. So are you taking that inspiration from the Bible?
Okay, sure. You can respond.
Well, you know, we can say all we want to say. We need to change the constitution to allow the land to be owned by our people. Because everything else is just artificial. It's all about the property ownership. So during the wars of dispossession, when the whites arrived here, they didn't do anything. The only thing they did was to take the land and take the cows. And the cows represented at that time the wealth of our people. If you don't change the patterns of property ownership from colonial patterns of property ownership to democratic patterns of property ownership, forget it. No black man will ever be respected as long as there is still Alexander, as long as there is still a Soweto, where our people live in congested environment like sardines. There will never be a respect. Even Patrice Motsepe is not being respected. If Patrice Motsepe was to walk into a mall alone, a white woman will tell him that, say, not this side, that way. Until someone says, no, it's a different black, it's that one called Patrice Motsepe. But all of us are the same. Why? We've got no ownership of property. And it is property that brings respect. We all know that. Every person who gets a smaller RDP, the confidence improves immediately because now they own some property. That's what property does. So we need to change the constitution to allow the land to be owned by our people. I'm a Christian. I'm not baptized. I was never confirmed. My mother used to take me to church, and then she made a mistake, so she will send me first because the Sunday school starts first and then she comes after. I don't go to the Sunday school, so I go different direction. But I'm a Christian at heart. I believe there is God above all of us, and it is that God that gives us guidance. But I talk to God through my ancestors. I practice African rituals. Every year, because God, to me, is like a king. You don't go to the king on your own. That is disrespectful in the African culture. You don't just go straight. So I go to God through my ancestors, and I believe that I have a duty to do that. So if you look at the articulation of the Jesus Christ and all of that, it's the ancestor also. I have no problem with the ancestor. They must not have a problem with my ancestors.
All right.
So, but my commitment is such that even if I don't get to the promised land, I should plant a solid seed that will make those who come after me realize the promised land. We may not all arrive there, but someone has to take the snake out of the hole. And I've given myself that task to take the snake out of the hole.
Okay, because I need to take another social media comment. Konelana, that's Bongani David Modimola on Facebook, Mr. Malema. What is your comment on Israel and Palestine? And on this issue, you conducted a march as well. Yes. Some of the injustices that are happening in Njengamanje. Speak to us on that.
Well, we are with the people of Palestine who have been robbed of their land from 1948. And the Palestinians have said, okay, well, the Israelis are here. They are with us. We can coexist as two states. We don't have a problem. The Israel, this is your portion, this is us. The Israelis continue to expand their territory, encroaching into the Palestinians' land every year, to a point where when you look at that map, there's nothing that is left of Palestine. So the people of Palestine say, what is the worth of us saying we are Palestinians when our land is being robbed from us? Very polite. For so many years, PLO has been leading that struggle. Arafat has been in the forefront of that struggle. Madiba was part of that struggle. The arrogance of the Israelites is such that they don't listen to anyone. Now, when you put people against the wall, they've got no any other option because there is no more going back. There's a wall behind them. The only option they have is to go forward. And that's what Hamas and the people of Palestine are doing. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Netanyahu says to them, all of you leave Gaza. Go to the other side.
Yeah.
When they are leaving Gaza on the instruction of Netanyahu, on the way, he bombs them.
Yeah, and we've seen that's tragic.
And then he even bombs
I need to go to break.
hospital.
I need to go to break. We'll come back and continue nenkulumo yethu. Mbukeli nawe ke ungaxhumana nathi enkundleni zethu zokuxhumana. Siyabuya emva kalokho. Hlala nathi khona la ku Daily Thetha. Right, Umzwandile Zita ku Facebook. Uthi, why is Mr. Malema keeping quiet regarding the issue of spaza shops selling poisonous food that is killing our people in the townships? Hashtag Daily Thetha. Please make a note of that question because I'm going to go to the next one now. And then it gets born elandelayo uhlanganani shabalala ku Facebook. Uthi, does Malema own businesses in Zimbabwe? Is he going to open the borders when he gets a chance to govern? And also, I remember some of the comments that you made about open borders. They've really put you out of favor with some people. You can respond to that.
I have no time for self-haters. Why would they be in favor of me when they are not in favor of themselves? There are no borders in Europe. Once you've got Shanghai visa, you can go anywhere in Europe.
But many have said you might be causing a potential border crisis control.
There's no border crisis control. So I come from Limpopo. We're very poor, we have nothing. And there's no border between Limpopo and Gauteng. Yet we never left Limpopo to Gauteng. It's a mind of a peanut that thinks like that, a size of a peanut. People will never leave Nigeria and come here. People will never leave Zimbabwe and come here. They have got their own activities happening there. But we can tap on each other's skills and economic opportunity to boost one another. Anyway, this Johannesburg was not built by South Africans alone. It was built by migrant laborers. This thing you're enjoying here, that's why you can find children of descendants of Zimbabwe. Jolie, the former mayor of Johannesburg, born and bred in Soweto, was a child of a Zimbabwean. So none of these beautiful things that you claim to have as South Africans, that you build them exclusively alone. The gold that was discovered here, the diamond that was discovered here, was mined by all types of Africans, Mozambicans, Zimbabweans, Malawans. That's where the Fanaka law came from. So I've not started Fanaka law. At the rate you are going, you comrades are going to accuse me that I started Fanaka law. I found it here. This concoction of our people coming together has always been there to tap on each other's strength and skills and ability. So I will never say Africans must never come to Africa. I will never say that. No. And then secondly, on poisonous spaza shops, again, it's self-hate. Because
what do you mean self-hate, sir?
The people who are selling there are poor people who are not of the same status as Spar. Do you know how much food is expired in Spar? Do you know how much Spar sells expired food? Spar is not a spaza shop. Why can't the topic not be about expired food and not spaza shops?
That's not factual, Mr. Malema.
It's true.
Nah.
What proof
do you have
that there's rotten food in spaza shops?
I'd like to know, what do you base that claim on?
What proof do you have
I'm just saying that it's not proven. So perhaps
you're
maybe
asking
just
me
give us
something
what's
that
the
is
basis.
not proven.
What's the basis of the claim?
Are you asking me? You have no proof about spaza shops. Leave me to talk about Spar. Don't love white people more than our people.
No, but that's not
I'm
even
saying to you,
where we're going.
I'm telling you, yesterday,
that's not where we're going.
The EFF rated 4 Spar shops and found expired food.
All right.
The same way you are telling me about.
Where was this?
In Limpopo, in North, we have got a campaign now. Even these spaza shops, I'm to it. Here in Soweto, the MMC of safety of the EFF, the MMC of health of the EFF, joined by a member of parliament, Muzwanyela Manyi, went to raid the spaza shops in Soweto and took away expired food. So the topic should not be about the spaza shop. The topic should be about expired food. That our people should not be sold expired food. And it doesn't matter whether it's found in a spaza shop or in a proper shop. The narrative of Spaza Shop is necessitated by xenophobia.
Yeah, no, so I
That
wanted us
they
to...
want to attack foreigners and they want a legitimate reason. But that is not the reason. The reason is xenophobia. I will fight expired food, not in Spaza shops only, in every shop, including Pick n Pay and ShopRite and Woolworths. You know why? I'm not scared of them. If you are scared of them, don't make it my problem.
So let's talk about your political aspirations. Yes. You have not made it a secret which you want the highest office.
Yes.
How far are you from that? You think you're going to get it?
We're almost there. I think we're in Midrand by now, on our way to Union Building. We're not too far. What we're waiting for is next year to seal this thing, and then we close it. But my struggle is not necessarily about the Union Building. My struggle is about no single black child going to sleep without food. And there's enough resource in this country, both in the state coffers and private sector, that can make it possible. White people with money have got no problem to help us eradicate this poverty, unemployment, and inequality. They want leaders who are not scared of them. We're going to tell them this is how we're going to move. They always want clear policy direction, and they will always find a way around it to still make money. But once you speak in folk tongues and they don't hear what you are saying, they take advantage of you, they buy you with shares in mines, and then close your mouth. Someone says, do I still own, or do I own a business in Zimbabwe? I've been to Zimbabwe twice. When I went to visit ZANU-PF and meet President Mugabe, and when I went to send my condolences to Mama Grace Mugabe when President Mugabe passed away. That's my business with Zimbabwe.
So you don't
I've got no
business
with Zimbabwe. Someone this morning was saying, Malema is a Zimbabwean. How much I wish I was a Zimbabwean.
I need to go to break
because
again.
They own their land.
We continue again Mbukeli Masibuya ngale nkulumo hlala nathi khona la ku Daily Theatre. Ungaxhumana nathi ke inkundleni zethu zokuxhumana. Siyabuya.